Good day, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Obstacle Discourse with Davis and Chace. This week is a doozy. Josh and I try not to spend too much time on the is VJ the best or not argument because it's been covered so much already, but we can't help ourselves. We also talk about Spartan's new digital platform and is Amelia closer to Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, or something else. As always, thanks for watching. We do this every Thursday morning along with our episodes that are regular on every Tuesday. I didn't say that right. Who cares? Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy.
Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning. You're hearing this on Thursday. You're back at another episode with, I'm going to go ahead and say, the hottest new show in OCR.
Is it the hottest and the only new show in OCR, or are there other new shows?
I don't know. BroCR launched something.
They did launch a podcast. Did you hear Mike Stefano call us out the other day?
He did.
What specifically call you out?
Uh-oh. For the Atlanta thing? I said Atlanta by mistake right after
No, not the Atlanta thing. He
Okay.
said that they are the most consistent podcast in OCR. Also, I would like to point out, as a continuation from the last episode, I got a message from one Ryan Kempson saying, "Thank you for clarifying the cape. Also, can the Super Bowl come any sooner? Because you need to go back to the barber and get this. I'm assuming you're all on video, but you need to get this mop chopped, man. I don't know what is going on up there."
So now we're going to spend time in haircut corner.
Salon corner.
About 5 years ago, so I used to go get my hair cut. So when I had my staffing company, I was making a few bucks, so I stopped going to like the $8 place. Like I went to a real place, right? And they put the goop in, and they sell you the goop, and it never quite looks that good. But I'm getting a 30-ish, 35, 40 with tip haircut once every 3 months, right?
Yep.
Somewhere around 2011, 2012, which is about the time I started running, I cut my own hair with the fucking, you're not looking, you're looking at your phone right now.
I'm looking. I'm totally looking.
I was using the thing, and I was like, oh my God, this is inexpensive. This is quick. I'm saving time. I'm set. I see why every runner does this. It just makes your life easy. Now, fast forward to the Super Bowl. I get this dope AF haircut. It grows back kind of nicely, right? Like you could feel either way. You could feel a certain kind of way about, the fucking whatever this part is. But then it grows in nicely. And my wife goes, "You know what, honey? You look a lot better with a little bit of hair. You look a little bit younger." And anybody that says I look younger, I listen to. So now I'm in a conundrum because I'm going to go to a barber and go, I can go in my neighborhood. Give me a fade. Give me the fade I had at the Super Bowl, but like 2 weeks plus.
Well, you took a picture of it. So here's a life pro tip for anybody out there. If you get a haircut and you like it, immediately take a picture of every angle. So then when you go to the barber, because if you're like me, the guy's like, "All right, what do you want done today?" The guy does buzzy things on the side and then he does scissors on the top. I don't know. So whenever I get a good haircut, I'll take a picture of it and be like, just replicate this, and boom.
I heard you go and you just say, "Give me the Cameron."
I do. Yes, I do.
Give me the Cameron fry.
Say, hit me up with the fry.
All right. Should we talk about obstacle racing?
Let's dig into it.
All right. Item number 1. There is no signal in Alabama. Or is there?
Or is there?
Now, here's what's great. It's not just OCR. I think if you leave a vacuum open, people will just fill it with conspiracy. You know what I mean? I think that's true,
Yep.
in the Oscars. I think it's true in politics. It's just everywhere. So, Bracken said half jokingly they didn't want people calling out things like the truss again. What were some of the other rumors?
They wanted to push it to a paid video service.
That was one?
Yep.
There was another one that VJ said to me the day of. The end of the day, they were given bad information. Somebody in the technical world, somewhere between the company and the venue, said, "Oh, when you have all these people, there's no way that signal's going to work." And so that's what they went with. They did.
I'm paying attention. I mean, so here's my thoughts.
By the way, that's official. That's official. That's what I heard from my off the record source. Then I spoke to Jonathan specifically. and I have a text here somewhere from him, but that is the official word. We got that information. And if I thought Jonathan was lying to me, I would call him out on this program, but I believe he's telling me the truth.
Yeah, and I'm sure, whoever visited the venue beforehand probably saw that there wasn't very good cell phone service. So I think they were just being proactive about it. Like I'm going to take Spartan side in the argument and say, or now that I'm saying that out loud, let me think of it this way. Maybe they're just trying to alleviate registration lines by having more people screenshot their barcode and bring it in, because I don't know why people aren't doing that anyway, but it definitely is not a conspiracy to get video on some other platform, because I don't think after Jacksonville that was the worst thing in the world. It was bad for Woodsy, obviously, but I don't think what happened was a bad thing, because what came out of it was good, I think, ultimately. And we're going to see those things happen, I think, as the sport continues to grow and becomes more viewer popular. But yeah, I don't know that there was a mass conspiracy, but it did lead to Spartan putting the broadcast on a whole new digital video platform.
Well, before we go there, I want to say this, because you're feeding into it just as well. You're saying, oh, they did it so people would not have lines of registration. So first of all, I'm one of those people that always forgets, right? Times that I do actually register, most of the time I'm just walking right past registration and doing media or whatever. But I've been to some races where there is no on-site because all I did was initial something as part of my reg. I think actually, hold on, Battle Frog might have been the first to do this. And it's like, well, yeah, why would you need to mess with a fucking piece of paper when you're doing everything else electronically before you get there? I agree, blah, blah, blah. You spend the exact same time reading the information, whether your hand is freezing on a pen or you're, you know what I mean? Nobody's reading it either way. They're saying, take my life away. Why isn't everybody just putting it as another checkbox?
Yeah, I mean, if I had like my wish, I wouldn't need a barcode for every single race that I register for. I would have like an athlete profile, and I could just walk up, scan it, and then be like, yep, you're registered. Boom, here's your stuff.
Well, now you're talking crazy. Now you're talking really crazy.
I know. God forbid we utilize technology that's available to us widely throughout the world today. Like, why can't I put my Spartan barcode in my Apple Wallet, just like I do my Terrain Race Airlines ticket when I get on a plane? Sorry, couldn't resist.
All right, so let's talk about the new platform. I guess I expected something different, and it resembles. So just so people know, they did what's called live to tape, which we actually did. Tough Mudder did in Philly last year. Tougher Wave, and I forgot why we did it that way, but the race happens. We're filming it the whole time, and then very quickly producers come in, they cut the cameras where they cut them to make the show. It actually makes the show a little bit better. And then we announce it as it was live. I personally did not watch that race, which I think Ryan Kempson won, Matt or Ryan Kempson won, if I recall, in Philly, because I wanted to, have that feeling. It also was great because I was actually at the start line and could see myself, and I tried not to call too much attention to it because that was fun. But anyhow, I don't know if Magida and Watson did or didn't, but I'm still not clear if they were in the same room or not. People were talking about them stepping on each other. I think they weren't in the same room, and I think Watson's back in the Philippines and Magida was in DC in some ISDN line. I mean, you would actually yeah. Now we're in Tech Corner. This is actually a good way for you to explain how that would work.
Yeah, I mean, an ISDN line is far more efficient than like two people talking on Skype because there's always that inevitable delay, right? I say something and you're like,
No, you go
ISDN is like, yeah, right. No, you go. It's like putting both people right in a room, right? There's instant connectivity between the two. So I wouldn't doubt that was the case because they didn't cut to any announcers at any point during the broadcast. I don't believe
they didn't. I think they did after you had a little moment with Steve, because I saw him do that, and I think what other reason would that to be? So maybe they did like, all right, let's go to Steve, and then they just waited 30 seconds because they know they were going to cut it back in. I don't know. I should have asked Watson these questions.
I will say that I did. This might be the first time I've watched an entire broadcast start to finish. I generally won't watch it live only because it's typically uninteresting, and the footage that they get you is not the best. It's drone footage. It's blurry. The biggest gripe that I have So at 1 o'clock on Sunday, it was everywhere. It was on Facebook, it was on YouTube, and it was on BR Live. We'll talk about that more in a second. The biggest gripe is if you're going to do live to tape, the quality sucked. It was very poor quality, like standard def quality. That has to get a lot better. And I get that the means of you broadcasting from an iPhone to, back where the main set is and recording it that way, you're going to lose some quality there, but they have to get better with quality if you're going to make this viewable in the future, because most people will watch it once and be like, eh. But if you can go back and refer to it over and over and over again, it's far better to watch repeatedly if it's in high def. But
hang on.
Are you pulling it up on your phone?
No, I'm messaging both Megita and Watson, hoping one of them gets back to me first. I guess my question is, Joshua P. Chace, who knows an awful lot about tech, says it was in low def. Do you think the average person noticed?
Noticed, yes. Cared, no. That's what it comes down to with high def.
You heard people say, "Wow, this looks so much not as def as Game of Thrones or whatever." Because I don't think I had that experience. I did not watch start to finish, but
I know that was one of the first things we talked about in the Discord when it started broadcasting.
That's a bunch of fucking nerds. Who's in there? Come on, man.
Nerds, and those are the ones who I pay attention to. Nerds around the world, man.
Dude, Discord. I'm joking. You are our people. You are. Please trust me. It's a nice loop of we talk an awful lot about the Discord, so people go there, and then those people ended up being like, good. Anyway, it's clearly working. Like, I know you're posting in any Spartans once in a while, but clearly this show is driving most people to Discord.
Right, but going back to it, they definitely need to get better and record in higher quality. I mean, hell, I know they're using iPhones to film, but you can buy a current generation iPhone and it'll film in 4K 60 frames per second.
Well, here's the deal. You've got these two guys. You've got Steve Hammond and these two guys, and I'm sorry for not knowing their names because Aaron Newell told me he knows these guys.
Can we find these guys' names, because they are friggin' amazing at what they do.
They're doing the real work, right? These ultra runners that Steve Hammond knows from like his ultra running and his sky running, race directing, that run their ass off and stay right in front of the guys with basically a camera on a stick, a monopod, if you will.
Yeah, it's a gimbal.
But they're running like this, like literally
right.
They're running like
they're
this.
Running, pointing backwards.
Right. And so I always thought that was like a GoPro, but I guess it must be a more expensive camera, right?
No, so they use a couple options. So there's one with a full, like a legit DSLR camera like you have, but that guy is usually around like the big event stuff. The people on the trail is just an iPhone on a gimbal. That's it. And it just broadcasts back to thing. I'm watching the video of Spartan Race's Instagram. They posted a clip of the dude eating shit in the middle of the trail, but still filming. I think it was this Nicole or somebody? They do amazing work.
So wait a minute. So why is it low def if the cameras are the same?
It's probably lost in the transition from when it's broadcasting. So it's coming from the camera, broadcasting back to base camp. But, this could also be a local video that they pulled off the device itself. Whereas when you're broadcasting live, it's like Skype right now. You're filming with a high def camera, but your quality of me is probably not the best. That's my gripe. I like high def. I mean, the technology
I really am not understanding at all.
All right, here's an example. You know how you film something on your phone, right? And if you're watching this video, you can see me. You film it on the phone. It comes out in full 4K, 60 frames per second, right? You go do an Instagram live with the same camera filming the same way. The viewers do not get 4K, 60 frames per second, right? It's just lost in the ether of the internet between the live broadcast and getting to the consumer.
I think we should launch another show. We spend so much time in Tech Corner educating me that we should launch an entire another. I think we need a network.
We don't need a network.
We need a network. I'm listening to a lot of Ringer.
Is there any chance that you got gobbled up in the Disney Fox 21st Century Fox merger and now we're a part of Disney? Because that would work out well for both of us.
It's very possible. I'm listening to a lot of rewatchables on the Ringer, and the more I listen to them, and even though I mostly only listen to that one show, they talk about these other shows they have and content creators they have. And I'm like, that's what I want, man. I want to be, you know what I mean? Like you could have, like we do this together, but then you easily could have, what would the show be that you could like get paid to do if you didn't have like a regular job?
I have no idea, to be honest. I
What do
really
you
don't.
what
Like
are you interested
I
in?
like the Under the Wire thing that Spartan did
Oh,
for
wait,
Jacksonville.
we'll go there in a minute. I'm talking about
Okay.
non-OCR,
Oh,
like
non-OCR.
like pop culture, sports, anything you're interested in.
I don't know, to be honest. Luckily, I don't have to think about that, man. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a corporate guy. I'm wearing a blue collar, right, my friend. Or wait, white
Entrepreneur
collar.
life.
There's no entrepreneur life for me. I am proudly waving the flag of some multi-billionaire.
All right, I don't want to have to do this. What would Molly, do you think, like to do? What is she interested in?
Molly would be like a naturalist. She would take people out on like whale tours and go out into the national parks and, stuff like that.
All right, she can have a channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So do you want to talk about, so what do you think it means that they went with Bleacher Report, or what do you think that has to do with anything?
I think they are trying to find a house for their content that is not Facebook. And I think Facebook video is great for live, but finding Facebook videos is incredibly difficult. There's no set consistent library where you can set up, say, a folder of content and this is the 5 videos we want to show you. It's all in this like giant mass of video on their Facebook page, and they have a separate Facebook page called Spartan Live, and then to rewatch it and finding it is a mess. Searching on Facebook is just a nightmare.
Spartan TV is another one, right?
Spartan TV. Yep. So, they try the Instagram TV thing. They sort of half-ass that one. I don't think they really know how to handle that. So I think they're trying to find a video platform. And ultimately, the goal is they want to monetize it. They want to monetize the broadcasts of these. But what they have to get better at, if they want to do that, is the full live broadcast is great if you're watching live or like later that day. But if you're going to broadcast it the next day, you've got to film it, get it to somebody, package it down, put it into a 30-minute show, and throw it online. Boom. Monetize it. Even put it on YouTube. Monetize it, and I'll watch it. Cut all the crap out. Cut all the dead air, right? The talking about running and watching guys run through the trails. I want to see about 9 seconds of that. I don't want to see 40 minutes of it.
So again, from personal experience on the Mutter side, I said to my producer, I said, hey, we're doing these 4-hour things that people are clearly going to cut in and out of. Why don't we do what Spartan's been doing and turn it into an hour? This is like 2 seasons ago. And he was like, it sounds like, oh, just sit down and do that. He's like, well, somebody's got to pull, blah, 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 terabytes of fucking footage, right? That's massive amounts of time. Sit down. It's just not that simple. And so again, it comes down to money, right? And Spartan's budget is more than you and I have in our pockets right now, but it's not enough to look like the fucking Super Bowl. But unfortunately, we're all so used to Super Bowl quality because that's what the networks and everybody big time is using.
Listen, Matt, there are countless, and I hate this word, YouTubers out there. I hate that word. There are countless YouTubers out there that are a team of one that do daily or semi-daily vlogs. And now, granted, they're doing 7 to 12-minute videos, right? And their editing is like minimal. It's not going to take a lot to get these edited and turned around. Can you do it in less than 24 hours? Yes. Yeah, you have to pay somebody to do it, but they've got a team to do that already, right? And I think they can get better at it. And I'm sure they'll get there, right? They don't have to do it today. But that's what I want if I'm going to watch that show. And also, the show in its current iteration, what it is today, is only interesting to people that run obstacle course racing. The goal is to make it interesting to people that are not obstacle course racers. So you need to turn it into something that's a cleaner, better package so you can share it and distribute it out in the world. Start picking clips out of it, right? And throw it on Facebook and throw it on Instagram. And they put some stuff up there now, but was it Spartan Arabia? I think it was Spartan Arabia. I shared a video clip of them yesterday where they ran by, they had an event in like a zoo or something like that. And they put together like this 60-second highlight reel of the event. And it was incredibly well produced. And they probably got richer content, tons of money out there, obviously. But it was a super shareable piece of content because there's like giraffes running. Did you see this, by the way?
No, send me a link.
I'll send you the link. There are like giraffes running in the background. Like they ran through a zoo, but it was amazing. I'm going to tag you because it's in the Any Spartans Facebook page. So I'm going to just tag you in it. But it was super shareable. It was relatable whether you're a Spartan racer or not. So I like it. And I just think they need to get better at producing instead of dumping the whole thing as it is on a site somewhere. Typical
right.
Facebook, I can't find a stupid post because they show me what they think I want to see.
All right. I'm going to see if we can avoid successfully the next question about VJ because Jack and I discussed it at length. You and I discussed it over breakfast before we started recording. So I just want to skip to the question of, and we'll see where this goes. We might end up inevitably there. When VJ can show up at one race, maybe two, and essentially steal 300 points from people who really want the title, as can Cody Moat or Hobie Call, said those names correctly.
Crushed it.
Show up in Utah, maybe take 2 spots, and basically just throw a wrench in the system. Does that mean that they should not be allowed to race against the 5 guys or 10 guys that really want those points? And they should just, like, you want to show up those days, great, but you're in some other category.
No, they can do whatever the hell they want, Matt, and they should have every right to. Listen, if you don't want VJ disrupting your U.S. National Series or disrupting your placement in the top 5 or top 10 of the U.S. National Series, beat VJ. And most of the guys are going to beat VJ just simply by the fact that they're going to run at least 4 or 5 races. And VJ, let's say he finishes first in both Utah and Alabama, so he's got 600 points. Almost everybody's going to have more than 600 points. I mean, the people that have run 2 races now and placed 15th, they've got 350 points. So they're going to beat VJ in the standings. But are they disrupting somebody from finishing like first or second? Yeah, possibly, but I think that makes for a good story. I think this kid is crushing people this year, and it's going to be – I would love to see him race more. But I also appreciate that he knows where his strengths are, and he sets the expectation of where he's going to race, right? He knows that he can't necessarily win Tahoe. But is he planning to win Tahoe this year? No, he's planning to win Tahoe in 2 or 3 years. Or 8 or 10 years if the sport's still around. So
It's my family's rent we're talking about here. Jesus. What do you want to scare me?
Sorry, dude.
Well, I get the knowledge of if you don't want them to run up the score on you, play defense, right? In the pros, by the way, college is a different story, but in the pros, I like that. That's what Wilbon always says. Like the Patriots running up the score, it's like fucking stop them,
right?
But in this, the reason it really matters is because of the way they're doing the points now, right? If it was just 1 point, but 300 points, right? Versus 264 versus 248. Once you get to 5, it stops and it's 1 point at a time. But those are really fucking valuable, right? Especially for a guy like Ryan Woods, who's fucked up a couple of times. So that's
this is exactly what they want, though, Matt.
But to me, I like the idea of the pro card or the guys on the pro tour, and I don't know exactly how they worked. And if I was a really good person, I would have looked it up ahead of time, like on the surfing tour or the tennis tour, or however they do it, that like you guys battle it out all year. And there's different certain tournaments pay more, but at the end, we know who the best is. And if you miss one, you're kind of fucked. But one guy can't show up. McEnroe can't show up in the tour 1 week because he used to be good and decided he'd take a crack at it and has been, even VJ said it, I worked on just this race. Whereas these other guys are, training and racing a certain way. So I think the future is you've got like the tour, or at least you've got the Sprint Super Beast Tour versus just Cody and Hobie showed up. God, oh, I said it right. Cody and Hobie show up, take the 4th and 5th spots, and it really screws Kent up or Woods or whoever.
Yeah, but we're years away from that ever happening, and I don't know that we're going to see like a sprint championship. As much as I know David Watson talked about it, and that was his goal to get to, I just don't see that happening because the championship season right now is so diluted already between Spartan and RIP Tough Mudder and OCR Worlds.
Right.
Right. So will Spartan want to do it? Yeah, probably. But should they? I don't know, because then you're sort of devaluing the product a little bit. And then you're getting, I mean, hell, we already have 200 plus pros, right? And now we're going to have like pros for the sprint, pros for the super, pros. So I don't know. I don't know that I would want to see a sprint championship.
Well, but here's the thing. If Spartan did what I think they should be doing, which is not treating Spartan like it's the only sport and not having all these pros and everybody could just show up, right? Like, I think this came up on another show, you know, in a perfect world, wouldn't the Spartan World Championships allow Albin to qualify at OCR World Championships or something else? Like if they weren't, we're the only thing in the sport, they would welcome the best of the best, and these are the multiple ways to qualify?
Or they would just say, if you want in, just pay more money. I mean, that would make more sense, right? So you can either get in and pay your way or pay more. You want revenue generation? There you go. You want to toe the line with the elites? It's $500. Knock yourself out.
Well, I don't like that at all. I'm just saying, like, let's say it got to the point where they go, we have our own points thing, but then you also could qualify. Like if you're Albin and you don't live near where there's a lot of Spartans, you know, we'll take the person who wins the toughest series. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to happen, but to me, that would be the way to go. All right. I really don't want to talk about VG anymore, but we're going to have to, because I thought of something after we got off the phone. And basically you and Jack's argument is, did VJ win this weekend? That's basically what you're saying. Right now, today, he's the best.
No, it's not. Matt, why is this so difficult for you to get? It's not. There are two arguments from January 1st to March 20th. Who is the best obstacle course racer in the world?
Not VJ.
Matt, how can you possibly say, based on performance from, again, January 1st to March 20th, you don't consider VJ to have right now the most dominant year?
Wait, here. Most dominant, that's a whole nother question.
No, it's not. It's the same question with different words.
He's having a dominant year.
He is having the most dominant year out of any of them.
It's like a 3-0 football team. Well, they're clearly going to win the Super Bowl.
Is the 3-0 football team the first one in the power rankings?
Not always. Depends on who
Jesus
they played.
Christ, you're just playing semantics here.
I'm not. You accuse me of being Stephen A. Smith, which I've never done. I've never taken the side just to take the side. That's not my MO.
I think we're in a Facebook comment argument right now, and you are not going to concede anything no matter what.
I'm conceding. He's having a great year. It's super early in the year, and he admittedly isn't good at the longer distance, longer timed races. That's what I'm saying.
Has there been a longer distance race in 2019?
Again, it's like the whole, have they played?
Jesus Christ, you can't even say yes or no to that.
Yes, but that means nothing. Again, if you're 3-0 and you've played, and again, I know he's played good teams, right? I'm not saying he's had a shitty schedule, right? I'm saying he's had a great year. He's not proven himself to be the best till he does this all year. Then he's the best racer at the end of the year.
This is like, at what point do you call, and I'm sorry for the rest of the football world fans out there, at what point do you call Tom Brady the GOAT? Did you call him the GOAT at 4 Super Bowls? Does he have to win 5? Oh, wait, he lost 3, so does he have to win 6? It's baloney, Matt. VJ Jones is the best obstacle course racer in OCR right now in 2019.
Okay, so that's this debate. We'll let the debating begin, as my man Trey Wingo says.
Okay.
Got to meet him briefly at the Super Bowl. Name drop. Told him he was great.
Do you think VJ Jones will be the best defender on the $1 Million Mile on March 27th?
Oh man, don't get me started. But this does bring us to the next topic, which I just forgot. I thought I had it, and then oh man, you screwed me up big time with the VJ thing.
Was it Amelia?
Yes. The goat statement actually was really relevant. Okay. So Amelia's hurt again, and many people messaged me like, wow, this seems like a theme. Like, she's hurt again.
It is a theme.
And I started looking at her stats. And and I know it's not the same, but just stay with me here for a minute. When Brady had lost those 2 Super Bowls, right? It was like, well, he hasn't done shit in almost 10 years now. Like, maybe he's not, right? Maybe he was super hot, right? And I remember somebody wrote, would it have been better if it was flipped, if he lost the first 2 and won the next 3, right? Like how you look at someone based on that. So if you look at Amelia, right? Super hot, right? Best in the game by a long shot. Win. Jack showed me some stats. You can look at her. I almost said her IMDb. And now she's going through this period of getting hurt a lot, right? However, I didn't realize she had done as well as she had in Ultra. Like, I knew she did good at that Sean O'Brien thing, because that gave her a Western States qualifier. Mm-hmm. But I want to read a couple of things. This, by the way, doesn't mean is she still relevant in OCR, because that's the bigger question. But let me pull this up really quickly about hang on one second, sorry, because I started writing this out. I'm not sure exactly if I'm gonna print it or how I'm gonna do it, or just do a video. I really want to do those videos where like you just talk over the videos. Except, quick side note, why do all the YouTubers have this really weird like speech pattern?
It's just they adopt it from everybody else. Like, one person started it and everybody else like took it over. Hey guys, we're going to talk today about da-da-da.
No, I'm not even talking about that one. I'm talking about there's one that sounds like it's a robot voice, but I think it's a person.
I don't know. You're going to have to send me an example.
All right. So her best years in OCR are 14 and 15.
Right. Okay. That's a lifetime ago.
It's just 11 Spartans in 2014, 7 firsts, 4 seconds, number 1 at WTM. Pretty good year, right?
Yep.
Next
she
year,
did not race 2014. She didn't race the World Championships, right? That was the year that she got hurt.
I can't remember.
I'm looking at it on our website. She did not run 2014 World Champion.
2015. 9 regular Spartans, but a lot of these are NBC races and whatnot, so against good competition. Yep. 6 firsts, 3 seconds, 4th in the world to the World Championships, then wins World's Toughest again, first female to win 3. Pretty phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
Right? 2016, 2nd place female, 4th overall at the Sean O'Brien 100K, right? Pretty awesome, right? April, 2 months later, does an ultra, 1st place overall, beats the men, female course record, right? Then she's injured as fuck. There's like 7 blogs in a row about being hurt. It's kind of a bummer, right?
She listed on her website, on her results, 1st place at fracturing my femur.
Right. But not right. And then she's got 2017 is really average OCR year. A 2nd, a 6th, a 4th. She wins 1st in Utah against not great competition. 11th in the world at Spartan Worlds, her worst ever. But then like 2 months later, does an ultra, 1st female, 2nd overall, again, like beats all the men, female course record. Like, she's kind of doing some really good stuff in ultra, right?
Yep.
2018.
2018.
5th place, Sean O'Brien, where she had previously come in 2nd. This 34K ultramarathon, 1st female course record. Then she does Barkley, DNFs that. Then again, some really average OCR stuff against not great competition. So the point is, if she goes into 29, if she can stay healthy and has like continues on this like ultra marathon like tear, then she goes back to being a really great athlete.
But nobody, this is going to sound harsh, nobody in OCR is going to care about Amelia Boone being a really good ultramarathoner.
But
We
they
already know
apparently
that.
do. But they apparently do, because every time she posts, she gets as many "you go girl" and "you've inspired me" and "I saw you 5 years ago" as every single time she has one of those "I got injured" blogs.
But so she's got 80,000 Instagram followers, right? A lot of that she gained from premier obstacle course like relevance. So, and then she, you know, she was in Outdoor Magazine or Outdoor Running Magazine, whatever it was, and a whole bunch of other things. So she capitalized on stardom in OCR before anybody else kind of had the opportunity, because at the time she was great. There was also not a lot of female competition at the time. It was her, it was April D, it was Tyann, Rose kind of came in for a little bit there, right? So you're talking 4, maybe 5 elite level females that were always in the conversation. Today, the OCR world has sort of passed her by. I don't know if that's the way that's the way I want to put it. The competition has passed her by. And I think at Amelia's healthiest today, she could not compete against the likes of Lindsay Webster and Nicole and Rhea. I just think that they are far better athletes. Now, Amelia is going to have a great future in ultramarathoning. I think, what is she, 35 now? And that's like when ultramarathoning really becomes a thing, because you realize maybe I can't be throwing my body over friggin' walls haphazardly and survive it. I gotta shift to do something else. She will be great in that, and she will make headlines in that. But if she didn't already have the base that she's got in terms of an audience, nobody would care. And it's, you know, is she going to do great things in an ultramarathon? Sure. Is she going to run the Barkley and maybe complete it one time? Maybe. But I think the only reason she gets as much recognition as she does now is because we had never seen an athlete like Amelia, because there weren't many athletes. But now we have a whole handful of athletes that are amazingly competitive. I mean, there's 15 different amazing women athletes, but not one of them I don't think is going to hit that same sort of social media impression mark as Amelia will, because it's spread out amongst, you know, all these different people. So now Lindsay Webster's got 26,000 followers on Instagram, right? And you could be a Lindsay fan or you could be a Nicole fan. But both of those people won't agree. It's like you and I talking about VJ, right? So I consider Amelia's sort of social media presence to be very different than her impact in the sport. And I don't feel like she's got the same impact. I mean, I know she doesn't have the same impact in the sport.
So I have said the same thing multiple times, right? Fields are deeper. Sport has passed her by, right? It happens to the best of them, right? It's going to happen to Atkins. It's going to happen to Woods. But
happy birthday to Woods, by the way. Didn't realize he was 40. That makes me feel a little better about myself because I'm younger than him, but he's also far better than me. So
he's phenomenal. But here's what I thought about the other day that made things super interesting to me. You know who else the competition caught?
Who?
In another sport?
Tom Brady?
Tiger Woods.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But in 2003, 1999, did we say Tiger Woods was playing against nobodies? No, we were just fascinated with this fucking guy. But eventually, Father Time and, oh, this guy's beatable, so the myth goes away, and now he can't beat the best of the world on a regular basis. We're all fucking praying he wins Masters one more time because it'll be awesome. But on a week-to-week basis, the competition's so much better. But did that mean that they sucked back then? Like, everyone's like, oh, well, he didn't play it against anybody.
There was less competition than there was. I mean, I think it's a good comparison.
Nobody thought it was easy. Those seasons, nobody was like, well, no one's really playing. That's why Tiger's so good. You could say the same thing about Mike Tyson, by the way, to a degree, but that's a whole nother conversation.
No, I mean, there was obviously talent when Tiger was 20 years old, but the pool of talent is far different. And I think the sport has not only grown in terms of golf, but the quality and the depth of field has gotten just a hell of a lot better, right? And I think golf is unique in that the best player in the world will maybe win 3 events a year, right? And it's sort of the same.
That's a really good year. That's a really good year.
That's a really good year, and it could be 3 majors, right? But you'll go to like the Deutsche Bank Classic in Boston and lose. So it's a great comparison in that. What I love about Jack Bauer's kind of statistical analysis is he gets to the point where he says, like, so-and-so should win this weekend. And you can't say that, right? You just can't say it in our sport because there are so many variables, so many things that change that on any given Sunday, BJ Jones can take the Alabama Super or whatever it may be. Like, it just so happens that we've seen 2 very consistent athletes win, the last several races, but once we get into the meat of the season, there's going to be a lot of change in standings.
Dude, I said it on the podcast, to no insult to Kempson. I said, if anybody said pick your first 2 winners, 100% of people are not saying Kempson and VJ, right?
0.2% of people said it, I think, according to Jack's.
They actually did? They predicted it properly?
I'm pretty sure somebody had Kempson. Granted, it was probably Ryan Kempson.
Exactly. But the point is that, like, that's awesome. Parity is awesome. We love it, right? I am, like, trying to hide my super bias for Woodsy. I'm really bummed he's having such a bad season. Back, I just don't want us to leave the argument of when that thought occurred to me. I feel like it can't be overstated that when Tiger Mania was happening, it wasn't, look at Tiger kicking the shit out of these nobodies. But we look back and we go, oh, yeah, of course. And again, the Tyson thing, right? Tyson's knocking everybody out in 5 seconds. And when he finally got to fight, like, Evander, who was the other best guy in his time, right, he went nuts.
Yeah, it turned into a real – well, no, wasn't it Buster Douglas first, or was that after?
Well, no, he got beat by Buster. But
right.
That's the downfall of him is, like – but I'm saying that, like, let's compare him against the best of his time, who probably was Evander, and the other guy, I forget the English guy. The point is, only in retrospect do we kind of realize they were beating tomato cans. So I think I've made my point.
I agree. Amelia, thanks for creating, I don't know how to say it. Thanks for being sort of a beacon for women in the sport, but it's time
and that's
to
the part
and
that's the part that doesn't really make sense is the amount of that she's still that the 2 most bankable people in our sport should be the really attractive, phenomenal couple. Those should be the winningest, like, sponsorship, and it's not. It's Hunter and Amelia. Hunter and Amelia have been on more covers and more TV than anyone by a long shot.
That's because the TV and magazine covers don't keep up with the sport. If they did, they would know. But
Ryan and Lindsay are attractive people and really good at racing, and they're a couple. Those 3 things, they should be on covers all the time.
Well, maybe Amelia and Hunter are good entrepreneurs and good at marketing themselves. I mean, a lot of that work was probably driven by themselves. So, Lindsay and Ryan, part of the reason I love them is they are humbled to a T, right? If this sport didn't exist, they'd still be working as hard doing the things that they love to do. Hell, Ryan Atkins yesterday, I started following him on Strava. He's like the only person I follow on Strava. He just happened to run this like 34K yesterday and set this fastest known time for some ridiculous Adirondack ice trilogy. And he's just – the best part is you go look at his Instagram stories and he's just posting stories. Oh, my bag of water ripped, so I ran out of water. So I'm just going to hold this plastic bag under an icicle and get some water for me in the meantime. Like, no big deal. It was just a Tuesday, and he ran 24 miles and 11,000 feet of elevation and set a fastest known time.
Would it be safe to say that Ryan and Lindsay are the Timmy Duncan of OCR?
Timmy Duncan? Are you talking basketball?
Yes.
I don't do basketball.
All right.
Tim Duncan was a Spurs guy.
So the San Antonio Spurs have won 5 titles, and nobody talks about them like they talk about Shaq or LeBron because it's not sexy to be from San Antonio.
Like John Stockton.
Exactly.
Nobody talked about John Stockton, but he was the greatest player on that team. I don't know what that team was, but I know he was the best player.
Utah Jazz.
Okay.
Stockton to Malone, a great one too. The point is that, like, the Tim Duncans of the world, they're quiet, the Manu Ginobilis. They just wake up every day and get work done. They don't.
Yep.
They don't get in fights. They don't have Instagram blowups. They just win fucking titles. I can't believe, like, I'm not a sports guy, really like a sports guy, and you should know. Come on.
Basketball is the worst sport out of all. I would watch golf. Actually, I do watch golf.
How did you feel talking to Kyler Murray?
Not swing and a miss. It was Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward, also Utah Jazz native. I mean, I didn't talk basketball really. I talked about his injury because everybody knew about the injury itself. But I mean, we talked video games. But I generally don't watch basketball. I can't do it. It's basketball, baseball, like the two bottom sports for me. Give me football then, and then hockey above all, and golf on Sunday.
All right. Well, I think this is probably our best episode yet.
It started a little slow, but then it picked up.
I say that all the time. We shouldn't be the judge, though.
That's true. We'll let other people.
We're going to have an awards show at the end of the year. Pick your favorite moments. Pick your favorite moments from Davis and Chace. Do your plugs before we go.
OCR Discord. If you want to continue this conversation, you better be there. The website is bit.ly/OCR Discord. Download the app. Or you can find me on social media at JoshinHD. That's about it.
Oh, where are you this weekend?
San Antonio, baby. Leaving Friday morning to go get me some barbecue and some Texas wine. Did not know Texas was known for wine, but they make a ton of good wine.
Will you be posting for ORM?
I will if you want me to.
I do want you to. I will be at Bone Frog, Alabama.
Oh, nice. Get a hold on some of their medals if you can and send them to me because I really want to check out their medals this year.
Okay. All right, dude. Talk soon.
Later, my friend.
That is going to wrap up this week's episode of Davis and Chace. Again, we do this every Thursday. We typically tape on Wednesdays and give it to you every Thursday morning. On Tuesday mornings, I'm going to bring you a brand new episode of the Obstacle Racing Media Podcast, which is interviews with industry people, which is finish line stuff, just the regular great hour and a half episodes we do every single week. Also, donate to Patreon. It's awesome. It's a way to support content creators like me who bring you great stuff like this. You get in a cool community, and it only costs you like $1 a month if you want. Or, of course, you can give more. It helps me out a ton. That's patreon.com/Obstacle Racing Media. I have got to run.